back, you little shithead.
Yep.
The genesis of McGillicuddy.
Protect the bone defeated.
The ultimate warrior. Look at the adjective. Play.
Can't run because you're fatty.
Finally, The Rock has come back home.
I'm back.
The boys are back in the saddle on a different platform, so the Atomic Drop Show rides again on YouTube.
Did you miss me? Oh, how I have missed you.
You can talk a little wrestling with us by calling 803-369-3537.
You're gonna give me what I want. I've been asking for it for years.
And now, here are your hosts, Justin Time and Kyle Cruz.
Oh, a little bit of the bubbly.
Uh-oh.
Hey, we're live.
Yeah, I just lost connection there for a moment. That was exciting. So I wrote out everything I was going to say, and everything all I heard was whoop, 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 whoop. And I was like, oh, no.
Well,
So that's cool.
you still want to do that fancy
Still working
intro?
the bugs out on episode 4.
Yeah, you still want to do that fancy
No.
intro? No?
No.
I'll have to go for it the next time, huh?
Yep, well, I'm sure we'll have another surprise episode somewhere. Wait a minute. See? What's happening there?
I don't know, but we're still alive.
Hey, you know what? If we are live, all right, the way we go here on episode number 4 on YouTube. I am your amazing, handsome, and also cheerful, infused host, just in time, and alongside me all the way out in sunny Orlando, Florida, is my co-host Kyle Cruz. Kyle, how you doing?
I'm doing well. I'm not quite sure if we are live after all, but in case we are, welcome to the show. It is a weird time. We have gone through all the news yesterday and stuff, but just I don't want to start off super somber, but it was a crappy day yesterday, and it's a crappy day today.
I totally wholeheartedly agree on that. It's still taking some time to digest everything that's been happening.
Yeah. I don't really know what to say or how to address it other than just the reality of the situation. As you viewers can see, Howard Finkel has passed away at the age of 69.
Far too young.
Yeah, he had been dealing with all kinds of health issues for a good while. But he lost his battle, and but yeah, like he's just in my mind, without question, he's the greatest ring announcer of all time.
Oh, this side of Michael Buffer, absolutely. I think he puts Michael Buffer to shame.
I honestly think so too. And I don't want to get just too sidetracked on the Michael Buffer debate, but Howard Finkel made you legitimately invested in every single fight, every single match, and no matter who was in the ring, just it doesn't matter if this is like Attitude Era, 1998, and you're watching Mark Merrill versus Tiger Ali Singh. If he was doing the introductions, it's like, all right, it still sounds hype.
Oh, without question. It was the Fink. I mean, what more can you humanly say? The man was probably the voice of WWE before many people considered Jim Ross the voice of WWE.
Absolutely true. And Howard Finkel had been with the company. Maybe you would know this. It has to be like something like 40 years, something crazy like that, right? Like he'd been with the company for a very long time, and I believe he still had a role within the company even after they took him off of television, but he's been in that fold and just been a part of WWE fabric all this time. And yeah, to many fans before 1993 when JR joined, yeah, to many fans to this day, he is the real voice of the WWF, the real voice of WWE. And to see him go, it's really heartbreaking, man. Just a trash week. It's really been a trash week.
There's been no bright side to this week at all.
Nah.
And I'm the look on the bright side kind of guy, and there's just been nothing. I mean, the only highlight I can honestly tell you is I posted on my personal Facebook page. I met Howard Finkel back when Legends House was finished up recording at the WWE Fan Access, and he was a amazing, superb individual. I mean, he sat down in his tux still. I mean, the man lived in his tux, and if he didn't live in his tux, he had a tuxedo match and had it ripped off.
Man, yeah. Yeah, man. It's really tough to it's just really tough to hear this news. And what one of the things that everybody just kept saying about him was how not necessarily serious he was, just because he was involved in a lot of crazy storylines, but just how passionate he was about wrestling. And for all of the supposed heat you would get if you show yourself to be too much of a fan, and all that kind of stuff, those kinds of guys who let that emotion and let that fandom shine through, whether it was Finkel, whether it was JR, and I'm just talking about on the broadcast front, those kinds of guys, like your Morrows as well, those stand out the most, and they, at least to me, they immerse you more in everything they're a part of just a little bit more than just just some random soulless announcer, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah. So that's dope that you got to meet him. I saw the picture. I mean, back then, and then I resaw it just a few hours ago, and good times, man. Good times. I wish I would have had the chance to meet him, but I was a massive fan. Obviously, you can't be a Howard Finkel fan and during a tribute not drop his famous, his famous line, his famous word. So I'm gonna challenge you, and
all right,
and it is 10:05 at night, so I don't want to wake up everybody, but I challenge you to do your best Howard Finkel new champion introduction, or new champion ring announcement after a title change.
Okay. The winner of the bout and new World Wrestling Federation champion, Triple H.
Yeah. Classic, man. Just straight iconic,
Or the between that one or the Undertaker.
The Undertaker one was very like, that one is just seared into my brain.
Oh Lord, yes.
My personal favorite introductions of his were of Bret the Hitman Hart. And since Bret won the title 5 times, it seems like I remember every single time he won the belt. One, because he was like my favorite wrestler at the time, and so like just all of those moments, like I just hear his voice. Here is your winner and new World Wrestling Federation champion, Bret Hitman Hart. Just great.
Of course.
It was great, man. Fink was the man. Didn't they? Am I just completely imagining this? Or did they actually have a show? Or like either a show or a segment on like Bite This or something where people had to like
outthink the Fink?
Yeah.
Oh yeah. The Fink was just a walking he reminded me of like Lenny Poffo.
Yes.
I mean, he was a savant in wrestling knowledge because by God, he was at every damn event.
I mean, he knew everything. Like, he was a walking WWF encyclopedia, and just the amount of knowledge he had, just awesome. Perhaps the greatest contribution he's ever made to WWE.
Yes.
He coined the word WrestleMania.
This is true.
So, I mean, dude, like
between that and being the very first employee ever, too.
The very first employee, coining the word WrestleMania, like Howard Finkel is definitely in the, like, he's woven completely into the fabric of WWE lore forever. Without question, in my mind, the greatest ring announcer in wrestling history. And, like, there's been some great ones that, but nobody can touch Fink.
And I'm going to say this, best continuing a WrestleMania streak.
How many straight did he do?
God, he would come out during all of the Hall of Famers too.
Yes, that's right.
And he comes out, he does the Hall of Famers too. When they wasn't needed, he would walk down to the ring and announce them all.
Oh man, yeah, that's right, man. I can remember all these WrestleManias. He'd come down, have the little, Hall of Fame music playing. Dun 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 dun.
There you go.
Oh yeah, man, it was good stuff.
I mean, WrestleMania. You think of Vince when he says "Welcome to WrestleMania," and you just think of the Fink.
Yeah. Really sad day, but lots of great memories. Fink, just like I said just a few minutes ago, he wasn't all serious all the time. He got involved in some angles, and, like I remember him being in a couple matches, just kind of joke ones, but, just him being involved in like strip teases and, just being the target for certain divas at the time, and just random televised ribs, and it was all good. Seeing him on Legends House, which, you know what, man, I don't like, I'm kind of hesitant to do this, but I want to look up who was on Legends House.
Well, let's see if I can try to name them off the top of my head here.
All right, just give me 1 second, because I want to get the list up first.
Because this is just stellar radio that we are producing right now. Trying to keep it a little bit more lighthearted than the past couple days.
Oh, absolutely.
That we've had.
Yeah, no, yeah, we need some levity around here. So, okay, who you got?
Okay, we'll start off with Piper.
Mm-hmm.
Jimmy Hart.
Yep.
We'll go with Fink.
Yep.
Hillbilly Jim.
Yep.
Pat Patterson.
Yep.
And how many were there in total? So I can.
You're there were 8 and you named 5, so there's 3
5.
more.
Okay. God damn. I'm trying to go through it here.
3 more. Yeah,
3 more.
3 more.
3 more. Damn. It's not. It's not. It wasn't. I for some reason I want to say Nikolai Volkov, but that is just completely wrong.
No, he was not.
He just comes to mind. The Iron Sheik wasn't there.
There were rumors that he was going to be in it, but no. Which I could only imagine him being on that show and the amount of editing they have to do around that.
Ugh.
No, Iron Sheik was not on the show, but I would have loved to see it.
God. Was like the Hammer on there? Greg the Hammer?
No, he was not.
No.
No.
Beefcake?
Oh no. No.
Oh God. It wasn't. I know Honky wasn't there.
He was also rumored, but no. I think at the
no,
time
I
he was
would've-
still kind of on the outs with WWE at this point.
God. I don't know. I don't know the last 3. I mean,
So
that's like 70% right there.
So out of the 3, one of them is no longer with us.
It's not Dusty.
No.
I think Dusty would have killed him.
Oh gosh. Oh no. No. If you want me to, I could tell you.
Please.
Okay. Mean Gene.
Oh, damn it.
Mean Gene Okerlund. Hacksaw Jim Duggan.
Damn it.
And Mr. Foot Fetish himself, Tony Atlas.
Yeah, I would never got Tony Atlas.
Yeah. So it was those 8 for on Legends House. I think I may have to go back and like watch those shows again. Cuz they had a certain charm to them. You know, they like some stuff was just extremely scripted, but it was still fun to watch.
Yeah, think?
Yeah, reality show scripted? The heck out of here, man.
In a wrestling?
It's kind of far-fetched.
But it might work.
But it might work.
It just might damn work.
It just might. So yeah, there's quite a few, I mean, Piper, Mean Gene, Howard Finkel. Sadly, those 3 are no longer with us, and that is a bummer. But on that show, you got to see, just when, if you hit them just right, there was a big booming personality, and he could make you laugh. He cracked the occasional joke. Now, he was the butt of a lot of jokes too, but
of course.
but it's all part of the charm and all part of the memory kind of the later stages of being a WWE legend, and Hall of Famer.
Oh yeah, class of 09.
Class of 09. Man.
There we go. To the Fink.
Wait a minute. Wait. I got my brew. 1 second.
Very good.
To the Fink.
To the Fink.
Yeah. There we go. Good stuff.
Yeah.
Good stuff. But yeah, man. So by the way, you want to give out the number for our people who might be listening live?
Absolutely. If you feel like contributing or remembering any kind of Howard Finkel story, or if you just want to tell an uplifting story,
absolutely,
about anything, I mean anything,
we need it.
Please dial, 803-369-3537. Again, I'll slow that down because I talk real fast. 803-369-3537. But how about a joke? You remember Kyle Cruz used to do a whole bunch of jokes?
Really?
Yeah. We're going back to the well here.
Okay. Yeah. It must have been in a former life. So yeah, let's go ahead and
Yes.
reach into the vault. Let's go to the way back
All
machine.
right. I mean, this one just came not too long ago here. A man walked into the bar. Lucky bastard.
That's awful.
Thank you. That's all I got for tonight.
That is terrible. Hey, now, you know what? Speaking of jokes, there is
Yes, sir.
a Reddit. There is a subreddit for Jerry Lawler jokes. Now, we could talk about Jerry Lawler if you want. I don't know, but I can take it from here just in case you don't want to take it. But Jerry the King Lawler is ridiculous, and he shouldn't be anywhere close to being on commentary. At least in my opinion. You can feel free to disagree. But yeah, there is a subreddit called Jerry Lawler Jokes, and it is filled with like legitimately like the worst wrestling jokes ever.
Please tell me done by him.
I can't. I think when it first started, they were all his, but kind of by like just as we get
You know
more
what?
modern,
Can I hold? Let's hold on that thought because we're getting a phone call in right now.
then let's go to it.
Hello, caller. You are live on the air on the Atomic Drop Show. Hello, caller.
What's happening?
There he is.
Hey yo, what up, brother?
I'm just trying to see the light in this dark week of wrestling here. That's all.
Aren't we all, my man?
You are that bright light, sir. Ladies and gentlemen, this is none other than the Atomic Drop's favorite son, Jimmy Z. Jimmy, how you doing this evening?
I've been hanging out, man. It's rocking and rolling. Taking this COVID one day at a time, like everybody else. Every time you seem to get the rules down, they change. So it's kind of like, who used to say that? Roddy Piper, you make the rules, and then I change them. Is that how it goes?
That was as soon as you have all the questions, I change all the answers.
It's when you have the answers, I change the questions. Come on, guys.
Oh, that's what it was. Yeah.
Yeah. And it's kind of like that because every time you seem to know all the answers, they change the questions. So, but yeah, no, it's just just like everybody else in America and in the world, we're taking one day at a time here. Still trying to figure out how wrestling is essential in Florida. But hey, you know what? Vince McMahon didn't cut me that fat check, so I mean, it's none of my business.
I would feel obligated to speak up for my state and speak up for my city, and speak up really for my block because I'm so close to the PC. But I can't. There is no reason why pro wrestling and WWE specifically should be considered essential. We know why they are open. We know what kind of checks were cut. The first rule they taught me in journalism school was to follow the money, and if you do that, you can see why they're still open and why Vince is choosing to do live shows 3 times a week from the PC. Either way, everybody else is trying to make the best of a really bad situation and take it one day at a time. That's what you're doing. That's what Justin's doing. That's what I'm doing. I know that there's been a lot of crap this week, but did you happen to take in any wrestling, whether Raw or NXT or AEW or anything like that?
I think I'll be honest with you. I might have watched a little bit of Raw, but I mean, clearly nothing that was memorable. So I'm gonna have to say no. And I saw about a minute of the Ambrose and Swagger match, and I gotta tell you, man, wrestling without fans and being able to hear these people breathe and moan is just not really my cup of tea.
That's what she said.
Yeah. I think
I mean, the women's matches might as well be the U.S. Open tennis.
Jesus.
yeah, man.
If that was the case, it'd get Raw be preempted.
Yeah, So now, what is the reason behind them being live and not taped? Well, what's the reason behind that?
So
Well, I'll let you field this one.
Sure. Okay, so the thought is, and this is conjecture coming from Meltzer, so take it as you will. But he claims that Vince is paranoid that somehow, just look, everybody is cutting staff, everybody is trying to cut costs and furloughing workers and firing people. So these companies, especially major conglomerates, are trying to save money. And so Vince has this thought of, well, wait a minute. It was written into these, these multi-million, billion-dollar contracts here that they had to, that they have to produce at least 49 weeks of live television. And if they don't produce that, Vince feels like either Fox or USA would find some kind of way to pay them significantly less than what they originally signed for.
Of course.
So,
I knew there was a reason behind it. There had to been some kind of reason that equaled money that was behind the whole thing. Not somebody's health, God forbid.
No. We've we heard about the person who tested positive for COVID-19 right around the WrestleMania taping, and they continued on. They let this person, go home and self-quarantine, but they let everybody continue, and it doesn't really seem like the safest environment for anybody there. But all they care about is this TV money. It's not even a...
Well, that's the only money he has coming in right now.
Absolutely.
He has no merch sales. He's got no ticket sales. So the only money he's got right now is keeping his end of the bargain to all his advertisers and to his TV contracts, because that's the only thing that's going to pay him right now.
Absolutely right. And so because of that, I understand his need, or just him feeling that he needs to just keep everything going and have everything live. But man, at some point, every single business is taking a hit. All major sports leagues are taking a hit, right? AEW's taking a hit, UFC's taking a hit. Everybody is taking a hit, and yet nobody, like no other company, at least in the combat sports game, is more equipped to handle this hit, because they have so much money on the books, more so than WWE, and yet they are the one that is doing everything counterintuitive to what seems to be the right thing for all of their talent and all of their staff, whether health-wise
or UFC?
Sorry?
And that's who? UFC?
No, I'm talking about Vince.
Oh yeah.
Like, my thing is,
so Vince is doing everything right for the health of his health?
No, complete opposite.
No, it's the complete opposite.
Okay, all right. Yeah, I can't disagree with you at all. I mean, this is the real Mr. McMahon.
Yeah. I mean, Vince cares about the money, and I think he's trying to think long term. But then again, look, I mean, it's all connected, and we touched a little bit on this on our show yesterday, Justin. But
Yep, it's being uploaded as we speak right now too.
wonderful. So the XFL close, like they close. That's a $200 million loss for Vince McMahon, like straight up loss.
Again,
Had to file bankruptcy. No plans on coming back for a third iteration, which sucks because the XFL this year actually wasn't bad.
Oh, I loved it.
Yeah, man, it was pretty great.
As a football fan, I loved it.
Yeah, well, dude, I mean, like my two teams sucked, man. I was a LA fan and a Tampa fan, and those like the two teams that just sucked eggs. In any event, you had Vince taking a massive loss, hundreds of millions of dollars lost by Vince, and so Vince is probably like, well, wait a minute, I have to do whatever I have to do to protect, my bread and butter, which is WWE. I get the mindset, but right now, if you have the means, you have to think with a heart set. And Vince, somewhere, I know he probably has it somewhere, but it's not coming through right now. And that is the most damaging thing for a company that already just PR-wise isn't having the best week from any stretch of the imagination.
There's no positive spin.
Yeah, I mean, I'd be honest with you. I mean, the releases, there's nobody that got released that can really be mad at anybody, because they're clearly being released because of the current circumstances. There's no way they're going to make that payroll without like the lost revenue if they have all the payroll that they had before when they had the revenue. So it only makes sense that, okay, we're going to have to cut some people. Okay, that really only makes sense. I think there's worse PR with his treatment of the working environment he's put these guys through.
But here's the thing, though.
On top of the fact, yeah, go ahead.
But like, here's the thing, though, right? But okay, so if you take a guy, okay, so two examples: No Way Jose and Sarah Logan. In the case of No Way Jose, right? Who sure, like let's not beat around the bush here. He was, he wasn't a main eventer. He wasn't even a mid carder. Like, he was a lower card guy who filled a role, who was probably like really, really great at house shows. So you kind of keep that guy around as a, opening match guy, kind of get the crowd into things either during a dark match or like a hype guy, right? So, but fine, like just in every other circumstance, I could understand it. They have spring cleanings every year. I totally get it. However, you have a guy like No Way Jose fly from Los Angeles here to Orlando on a flight with legit 3 people on it, coming all the way here to wrestle a 2-minute match, a loss to Bobby Lashley, gets home just in time to find out he's going to be fired, which is like, I think the overall treatment goes beyond the physical of like, hey, you can't, like, hey, we're going to make sure we have a clean environment that's always wiped down and disinfected and all that kind of stuff. Yes, that stuff is obviously important, but you have, performers who are flying, who are legitimately risking everything because you don't just because they don't know what situations they are walking into at the airports and traveling, going back and forth, encountering people they don't know who they're seeing, just to be discarded in such a callous way during this time. I hear you. A number of these people you wouldn't necessarily be surprised by any other year. But now, it's a little callous when they have room to play with money-wise. They don't have a lot, but it just seems extra cold right now.
Yeah, I get it, but at the same point, like, I mean, I just did not. I was not very shocked that there was people let go. I was shocked on some of the people that were let go, but you know, I mean, first of all, couldn't they find somebody else to job Bobby Lashley? They needed No Way Jose. Like, were they really that far out of talent that they couldn't get somebody else in there?
Here's the thing, like, they've been using a lot of unused guys at the Performance Center during these like squash matches. Like, you'll see these tag matches where they'll have, you know, all respect, you know, to these guys, but people that nobody's ever seen on television, people you barely see on the local Florida NXT loops, they're being thrown out on national television just to be bodies in these squash matches, which is like they're
Sorry, I don't mean to interrupt real quick, but it's funny. You made mention of this. So prime example is anybody that Aleister Black faces.
Yes.
And my son will sit there and go, and he'll turn to me going, I give this match a minute and a half. Typically he's right on the mark, but lately he's kind of been a little under. So like one quick black mass and it's over and done with. And he looks at me and goes, "Who was that guy?" I said, "Buddy, we'll never know."
But
he's just we'll see him again down the road somewhere. But right now we do not know his name.
But look, here's the thing about that though, right? So in these Aleister Black squash matches, right? Those aren't even Performance Center recruits. They are like local unsigned Florida guys. Like, I like worked indie shows with these guys. So that's another point to where it's like, you know, if like, why fly out people like No Way Jose? Why fly out people like Sarah Logan when you know that there is, like, if your plan is to do all these squash matches, you have all these unsigned talents just itching for a minute's worth of TV time, because they're gonna use that experience and learn from that kind of experience. Like, it's kind of cool. It's a unique thing, and people don't deserve to be flown out, risk everything just to get cast aside like that. That's the most frustrating part, at least from my perspective, of people like that. You know, sure, there are people like, you know, once again, no disrespect, but a guy like Eric Young, who is talented, supremely talented, but he had, like, dude hasn't been on TV in ages, and they weren't doing anything with him. A guy like EC3, super talented, has a lot of charisma, can talk, but they weren't doing anything with him. I get the idea of them just being like, okay, we're gonna let you go, but to fly people out, to give them, you know, just one last thing on TV, when it matters nothing to their paycheck, because they're getting like the same rate, like, you know, the same downside fee regardless. Risk their health, risk the health of their families once they return, just to be cast aside. That is infuriating.
Yeah, it's just pain and aggravation. That's all it is on their part.
Absolutely.
And it bothers me that they do that too. I mean, that is just how WWE has always been.
Yeah.
But, or dare say even Vince. Like, a prime example is with Matt Hardy and Randy Orton. Right before Hardy walked out the door, he was supposed to main event, and Vince said, "We ain't going to use him, so we'll just kick him out and RKO him." But as Jim Ross stated on his podcast, he said it was the stupidest thing they ever did, because they sat there and got him over. They got Matt Hardy over more so by just burying him.
True.
And it's just like, why? It makes literally no human sense in any way possible. But The only people that it helps benefit is somebody like freaking AEW, because when they got Hardy was hot, and then you got like Brody Lee. Everybody knew Brody Lee was going over there, and just doing that interview with Jericho also got him more over. I mean, people can get over organically, and they'll get themselves over without even being on television.
It's true. It's true, my man. Well, Jimmy, man, you got anything else for us, brother?
Well, rest in peace to the greatest ring announcer of all time.
Yeah, we were talking about that just a little bit earlier. What were some of the what was some of the favorite memories you have of the Fink, if you don't mind sharing with us?
I mean, dude, there's nobody else that could ever announce a new champion.
Now we both did it.
I don't give a damn. You both did what?
We both had to drop our and new. So we need you to do it if you're able to.
I don't want to even insult the man. He's still warm.
Wow.
Oh man.
Wow.
All right.
Not even a way to honor him.
Oh, I'm honoring him right now by saying he's the greatest of all time.
I guess we're rotten in hell there, Kyle.
I guess so.
Yeah, well, I'm going to leave you guys on your own on this one. I don't want anything to do with that one. Yeah. But no, I mean, clearly, hands down, and I'll be honest with you, my second favorite ring announcer was Gary Capetta, like the old school, like, NWA, WCW ring announcer before they got the guy who did Nitro.
Yes. Before they got Penzer. Yeah, Gary Michael.
Yeah, Gary Michael Capetta, right?
Yeah. He actually did.
He was great, man.
Yeah, he did a stint. I think he showed up on AEW like the week before their latest pay-per-view, and he presided over the weigh-in between Jericho and Moxley, and and he looked good. He still sounded good, and that's the thing too. Like one of the latest times that the Fink showed up, he still he looked different, but he still had the same voice, and he still had the magnitude, still had that gravitas to his voice to make any moment feel special. And there aren't too many ring announcers that have that anymore. Like it's a bit of a lost art.
Yeah, I agree. The Fink, I'll be honest with you, I didn't know. I would have thought he was older than 69 by the way he looked. I wouldn't have thought that he was younger than Vince.
Didn't you just say Didn't you just say he's still warm? You won't pay tribute to the man by giving us
I'm just being honest with you, man. I'm just being honest with you, man. I thought I was shocked that he died at such a young age. Like I thought from the last couple of times that I saw him, I thought that he was older. So clearly he's been battling something or whatever the case may be. But you could tell the guy was. I mean, if he looked that rough a shape, and he was only 69, the guy clearly, he was dealing with some stuff.
Yeah, I'm not exactly sure what what issues he was dealing with, but yeah, he wasn't looking very well for quite a few.
So why are you giving me a hard time about him being warm when I'm just telling it how it is, baby?
Because I'm still bitter, man, and I want you to hit that and new for us. And new.
See, I can't do it. The guy might as well just rolling over. I might as well. This is horrible. That was bad. It was really, really bad.
You know what? I got to talk to you real quick here, Jim. Speaking of warmth and everything else out there, Mrs. Time was looking through her Facebook feed today, and believe it or not, today was the date that the plate burrito became a quote thing on the Taco Tuesday. And I know we've discussed this before. And she said the poor plate burrito didn't even last a whole year, and she's craving one like someone else's business.
Plate burrito didn't last 3 months. Forget about a year.
I'm just saying there is still one fan left and available
Yeah.
who wants it still that bad.
Yeah, the plate burrito basically had a grand opening and a grand closing.
Welcome to the XFL. It's pretty much the long and short end of that whole entire conversation.
Yeah. So, and Justin Roberts, he just does not have the same stroke he had years ago. I'm sorry. I don't know. Can you guys agree with me here?
I think Justin's still doing all right. Justin, I think
he's not as good as he was on Raw.
It's just a matter of opinion. I think he's doing just as good, if not maybe slightly better. I mean, he still gets excited. He hosts his own YouTube channel show on AEW. I've always respected Justin, more so when he was getting choked out by his own path.
This has nothing to do with respect or disrespect. I think the guy's great. I don't hate the guy. All I'm saying is that I feel that he's lost a little bit of stroke. I don't feel that he has the depth. I don't feel like, I don't feel that he has, the same range. Not saying that he's horrible but I don't think he's better than, SmackDown's ring announcer.
Yeah. I mean, if we're going to go through the list of, like, announcers in WWE, I would think would probably be number one. Number two would have to be Lillian. Number three, I would throw maybe a Tony Chimmel.
Oh, yeah. Rated R Superstar. Yeah.
Rated R Superstar. I mean, that was his tagline.
Oh, yeah.
Without question. Maybe you can help me round out the rest of these here, Kyle.
Well, so if we're talking about, like some top five, I wouldn't necessarily put Lillian up there in the top five. I think she...
Oh, wow.
Now, don't get me wrong. I think she did a really good job, but she's not in my top five. In the top 10, probably she might hit like a number 6, but I can't put her in the top 5. Really quick, Jimmy, I want to back up to your analysis about Justin Roberts. I've met him. He's a nice guy. I know that's not really your point, but there is something to what you said as far as him losing a little bit recently, probably since going to AEW. I think my issue with him now is he's in on the joke. So, say when he was ring announcing John Cena, when he was still with WWE, he'd do the whole John Cena, right? But now, now when he's introducing, John Moxley, he'll hold the John out, just for way longer, and it seems like his ring announcements are done to pop everybody in the back, which I think is kind of a larger issue with the presentation of AEW just in general. It has great action. I'm not knocking the entire product, but I think that's one of the things with Justin Roberts, that now he's he's not taking the task seriously. At least it doesn't really sound like it on a week-to-week basis. I'm biased as far as current ring announcers. I know it. I'm a massive fan of Alicia Taylor from NXT. A huge fan. I'm biased. I will readily admit that. There is a connection there, but she's up there. I honestly really like Greg Hamilton. And I believe he's a SmackDown announcer you were referring to earlier. But every time he announces Shinsuke Nakamura, it is incredible. He just his inflections, he'd always go Shinsuke Nakamura. Like there is something about his voice that's honestly, he's probably top 3, and he's probably not 3. I think he might be my second favorite ring announcer of all time. He's really good at the job.
Best in the world.
Oh, he's still going?
He's still going. I thought he cut himself off.
I thought he cut himself out too.
Oh, Jimmy, man, are you still there?
I'm here.
Dude, wait. Hold on a second. You gave us the best in the world with no hesitation. No hesitation. Like I'm gonna hold the Fink thing over your head for a good while because
Dude,
you did that
first
without
of all,
prompting.
The best in the world, all I had to do is stretch out world, which I can do that. That's no problem. I don't sound like him. I'm not trying to sound like him. But, like, the Fink, man, I don't know, man. I don't know. There's more to it. There's more to it, and I don't got it. You know? He took it with him. He's gone.
Yeah. Well, all you gotta do, just fire up that network, man, and we can watch some old Fink announcements, man. Voice of many generations, and
yeah.
Triple H put out.
Well, I got a dope autograph of him. So, and it's gotten written out to me. It's an old school MSG photo with like the MSG mic dropping from the center.
Oh, that's awesome.
It's pretty dope. It's a pretty dope autograph I got sitting in the in the vestibule at the restaurant. So.
Man, yeah, that's awesome. I wish I would have had the chance to meet him, and I never did, and I'm really bummed out about it. But one of the all-time greats, legitimately, Triple H put out a tweet earlier today and said, back in the day, you hadn't made it. You weren't anything until you had Howard Finkel ring announce one of your championship wins. And, there's nobody better to make that moment feel bigger and more special. And yeah, just
no way. I can't agree with you more. If there's one thing that will stick out about Fink, it is when somebody won a belt, there's no better way to win the belt.
Nope. No way.
Nope.
Yeah.
You had to have him.
And the crazy thing is,
no, I'm with you on that one.
And the crazy thing is that, no matter who it is now, no matter what company, all the ring announcers, everybody, still has that inflection of the new. And we're talking, from the indies to all the other announcers in WWE to AEW, to Ring of Honor to Impact, they're still, people are still biting off of the Fink because he's legitimately the best to ever do it. There's a lot of debate about the greatest commentator of all time. I think that has a like you're in like you're free to debate that, and I could see arguments for and against a lot of people, but the Fink just universally maybe second to Gary Michael Capetta, but just for the most part, like everybody has Fink at the very, very, very top. And the fact that people are still trying to, emulate his style just as best they can, it shows you how special he was.
Did I hear you say that he was second to Gary Michael Capetta, or Gary Michael Capetta was second to the Fink?
I've seen arguments that Gary Michael Capetta was in the same conversation as far as being the best to ever do it.
Yeah, well, that's probably some Mid-South junkie.
I would say that is probably based on
meth. On meth and crystal meth.
It's probably based on where you grew up. I mean, look, man, I was a California guy, so it was WWF all day.
Did you see that photo of the Bizarro Batista missing the teeth this week online? It was on memes everywhere. Did you see that?
You mean the meme from Tiger King showing what you would order online? It's a guy from Tiger.
I've never seen Tiger King, but is that photo with the guy with no teeth or having missing teeth from Tiger King?
He is. The meme out there is what you order online is a picture of Batista. What you really get.
Yes. Okay, well, so he's the poster child for who thinks Gary Michael Capetta is in the same, even he can even use the same stall, okay, the same urinal as Fink, okay?
Okay.
Man, that's how it was. Wow. All right.
No, I'm still here. I'm not gone.
We hope you never leave, Jimmy.
I'm not done, man. I'm fired up.
We can tell.
All right. Well, we got a lot of show left.
Yes, we do.
Yeah.
Well, with that, do you have anything else that is on your mind that we need to touch about?
No, I'm just gonna chime in when I feel like it on whatever you guys are talking about.
All right. Yeah. Well, your perch is available whenever you would like it.
All right. I'll rudely interrupt you guys. No problem.
Cool.
Just don't fall asleep on us. That's all we ask.
I'm driving right now, so that would be really bad.
Keep your eyes on the road and 2 hands on the wheel there, buddy.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So going back to where we were once upon a time, Lawler jokes.
Oh, jeez.
Off of Reddit. Yes. I wrote that down. Handy notebook so I don't forget.
Of all the things to
I gotta hear some of these.
Okay. Let's see.
Did you guys say Lawler jokes?
Yes.
Yeah, okay. So I do have one more thing to add, and when you the last thing you said was you brought up the greatest ring announcer. I have to say that I think ring announcers have to be graded as pairs. Like, you're not going to sit here and say the greatest, tag team champion of all time. You know what I mean? You're not going to say, oh man, that's just my personal opinion. There's no ring announcer that ever did it by himself. He always had somebody with him. So,
but wait a minute, man. Are you talking about commentator or ring announcer?
That's what I meant, commentator.
Okay.
That's what I meant. So, as far as the greatest commentator part, I would not be able to scale, rate that as a single individual. It has to be like a pair.
So here's the thing. Like, I think you can do both. You can rank.
Okay, you can do both.
Because here's the thing.
Fine.
Because look, here's the thing. Gorilla Monsoon was fantastic with Bobby Heenan. if you put Gorilla Monsoon with anybody else just on his own, or if you watch some of those horrible Coliseum videos where it was like just him on commentary, it was trash. So I think you can evaluate a commentator on how they do solo and with a particular partner. I agree, but I don't think that is necessarily fair to say that. I'm sorry. Anybody who says like Gorilla Monsoon is one of the greatest commentators of all time, they're ridiculous, and that's a stupid take because that's not true.
Gorilla Monsoon is one of the greatest commentators of all time.
That's a horrible take, and I'm not gonna, I'm not gonna battle you on it.
That's fine. Listen, man, we don't gotta battle, baby. This is tough times, man. We don't need to battle. We need to unite.
Man,
okay.
I'm saying.
But anyway,
I'm saying.
Okay. You listen. You can hate all you want. I got the love. All right. It's all good.
Hey, I got the love too. I'm just saying that if we're talking about just
first and foremost.
Okay.
How much wrestling has really been produced? Okay, and since we've been born. Okay. Or let's just say since 1980.
Sure.
How much wrestling has been produced that only has one commentator?
ECW, and pretty much, I mean, just on a national scale, it's just them. Honestly,
how much WWF was produced with one commentator? Not much.
Not much.
So, Gorilla Monsoon was gold with Heenan. He was gold with The Body. He was gold with Lord Alfred Hayes.
Don't you dare spread that propaganda. Don't you dare say he was good with Lord Alfred Hayes. Those were dark days. I have those Coliseum videos. Damn it, I have Smack 'em Whack 'em. I have it on my on my shelf right now, and I'm like, hey. Those were horrible commentary days with Hayes and Gorilla Monsoon. I'm sorry.
I'm a Hayes guy, man. I'm a Hayes guy. I always liked Lord Alfred Hayes.
Doing match commentary, as a host,
just brings you back to primetime wrestling.
As a host, absolutely. Yes, like if you put him behind a desk in a controlled setting, if you have him doing an interview, then fine. But if we're talking about match commentary, I'm sorry, brother. I'm sorry, man.
I think I'm gonna purposely watch a Boston Garden house show on NESN that's being commentated by Lord Alfred Hayes and Gorilla Monsoon.
But so in all of these examples you mentioned, right? Or at least the first two, you had Bobby Heenan and Jesse the Body Ventura, who are two of the greatest just talkers, period, whether they were wrestlers or managers or what have you. I think that Gorilla Monsoon played his role in those tandems as being the straight man, to where, look, okay, I will put it to you like this. I'll put it to you like this then. Jimmy, what line do you remember Gorilla Monsoon always saying?
Would you stop?
Exactly. Which means
miscarriage of justice.
Yes, miscarriage of justice. But specifically, would you stop? Will you stop? Right? That isn't anything like that. Isn't a Monsoon specific call. It is him reacting to the always outlandish claims of the heel commentator, like of the heel color commentator. So I think he played his role in those teams, but to say just him just on his own, like I don't think if you put him with a just translate him to a different time, to a different era, if he was with like a Byron Saxton who wasn't going to be like cracking jokes and stuff like that, Gorilla would not be effective.
Well, listen, Byron Saxton can bring any great down, okay? I don't give a damn who you are.
Yo, he's severely underrated. I know he doesn't get a lot of respect like that, but he in my view, he's underrated. He does add a lot, specifically in a two-man team.
Oh, definitely.
It's exactly why we disagree about Monsoon.
Hey, it's still all love, brother. It's still all love.
Of course. I think me and you would make a great commentary team.
I would have a feeling that would actually work really well. It would work really well. But hey, for another day, hopefully not in the not too distant future. That's what I'll say.
Well, I see how you feel. Yeah, you really feel. All right, so now that my answers have been, my questions have been answered, and you go. Well, let's get going with where were we? Oh yes, Jerry Lawler's greatest joke.
So these aren't necessarily jokes he actually told, but just in.
Will you stop?
Just in general, because Jerry Lawler is known for really bad jokes. There is a Reddit dedicated to jokes that Lawler would say. This one says, what would you call a 1998 30-man battle royal filled with nothing but canes?
With nothing but what?
Canes. Like the wrestler Kane? Like 30 canes.
Uh-huh.
You would call...
I don't know. What would you call it?
You would call it the Broil Rumble.
Wow.
That's pretty lame.
Yep. What will elderly John Cena have in his nursing home?
I don't know. What will elderly John Cena have in his nursing home?
Toothless aggression.
That's 2 thumbs down.
Yep. Let's see. Wow. Yeah, so these are all supposed to be like really, really bad. Why is BRAU the wrong way to spell Strowman's first name?
I don't know. Why?
He's not finished with you.
Yeah.
Thinking about Strowman, that guy, like from when you saw him on like the WrestleMania replay, like holy shit, dude, I think he's got to be like the most improved shape out of all the superstars in like as far as like coming far away. That guy was round and bubbly.
And we're talking about Strowman here?
Yeah, Braun Strowman, when he first debuted with the Wyatt family, like he was round.
Yeah, no, he definitely got himself into better shape over the years. Yeah, he was looking real round. Pause. And then, now he's looking better. I gotta say, just because we didn't really get into it last week, but the bit that they showed with Drew McIntyre and the Big Show, supposedly taped, just minutes after.
Minutes after Mania.
Yeah. So I was watching that, and I'm like, yo, the Big Show looks ridiculously good.
Doesn't he?
He dropped a ton of weight. It almost looked like he just got surgery, because it looked like he looked really skinny for his frame. So he's looking really good as well.
Yeah, much respect to the Big Show. That's definitely a massive transformation too. But if you look at Strowman, he's packing abs.
Yeah.
It's wild, dude. It's wild. Much respect to all that work that all that takes. I sure as hell don't got that.
Yeah, no, shoot, I'm the same way. All right, all right. One more, guys.
Okay, hit me. Make it a good one.
Why is Jerry Lawler banned from Mexico?
Why?
Because he has Latino heat.
Okay. I got a chuckle.
Hey, that's about as good as you're gonna get from these, brother. They don't get much better.
No. Okay, now hit us with an OG Kyle Cruz joke here.
I had them written down somewhere, man. I don't remember those jokes anymore. You tell me, man. You brought these old jokes up. What do you remember?
Oh man.
Oh, all right. Fine. It is in no way, shape, or form associated with the news of today. I just have to make that perfectly clear. Back when he was wrestling, what do you call any match that Triple H was in?
What?
Buried alive.
Jesus.
There you go.
Well, okay, I'll throw one back over to you.
All right.
What does the Berserker love to do in the produce department?
I don't know.
He loves to husk the corn.
All right, man. I'm gonna have to request to start the next segment of the show, please.
No respect. No respect. Okay, moving along on to the next segment
Wait. Last Jerry the King Lawler joke, which is fitting because of his terrible line from this past Monday night. This is a direct quote. Now, this is from later on in his career, but from New Year's Revolution 2007.
Jesus Christ.
I love to see Mickey James wrestle, but I'd love to see your box. Nothing?
I'm just waiting for this to be over.
Tough crowd still.
Very tough crowd.
Very, 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 very tough.
It's not your fault. It's really not your fault at all. You're just a messenger.
I think we have to return to the Atomic Drop Tells Bad Jokes, which could very well be the title of our next podcast. So
it certainly could be. Yes.
Bad jokes. Okay, that's written down now. So, with all that said and done, we had a whole bunch of releases. We had Vince McMahon now apparently on the board with President Trump to relaunch the economy. The XFL closing down.
Yep.
Where do we go from here?
I mean, that's a very good question. Like, where?
And we are in such uncharted territories and water that I don't even know where this is going to be headed to. It's nothing but rumors and speculations until we can get a definitive answer, until I believe we can get people back into the arenas. And even that may be tricky too as well.
I mean, yeah, man. Like, I'm seeing there's like word, not to get into the political thing at all, but I'm hearing, word that there might be some states that are gonna open up sooner than others, but they're not gonna, ban, travel between states. So that could cause, significant issues for if WWE were to start, traveling again all around the country. We honestly don't know. For as little as I like them doing these shows live every single week, them being at the Performance Center, that's the best place. Like, if you're gonna do any of these shows, that's the best place to do it. It's about as controlled as you can get without just canceling everything. We're in for seemingly at least another couple months of this. They are still scheduled to have the Money in the Bank pay-per-view coming up in a few weeks. I don't know. They have no choice but to go forward, but it's not very exciting. It's just I don't know, like, high key, there's like more important stuff to think about, and it's just trying to spend time guessing what's going on in Vince's brain just seems like a pointless exhibition, because Vince doesn't know what's going on in his mind from minute to minute. He'll forget stuff all the time, and he'll change his mind.
I feel like this would be the best time to launch a performance center out in Hawaii.
Hey, no, like, that's Dana White's model. Because Dana White's out here trying to freaking, he's trying to
obtain an island.
He's trying to obtain and freaking buy and create a fight island. And he had one.
That was the movie The Condemned with Steve Austin.
Yo, within the first 3 minutes, I had to turn the movie off because somebody got impaled, and they showed it brutally, and I'm like, I can't take that. But yes, it was like The Condemned, and yeah, man, Disney had to put a stop to it. Because they were like, "Hey, this isn't this is stupid. We're not gonna broadcast from a damn island. It's
not our own island."
True, it's true. So, yeah, there's a lot of question marks, but the fact that Vince is part of this task force to identify when to open up the economy by using sports. He's meeting with Dana White, with Vince, with Adam Silver of the NBA, with I believe he's
Mark Cuban.
Is he meeting with Mark Cuban?
Yeah, he's meeting with Cuban. Yep, and Cuban.
So owners and commissioners of teams and sports leagues everywhere. It's just I don't know. Even if they, reopen these events and you're going to start to see, more events take place, fans are going to be skeptical. A certain segment of fans aren't going to be skeptical, and they're just going to want to go. But, a large part of people are going to be like, "Hey, I don't know if we're over this thing yet." So, it's going to be, but like you said earlier, it's going to be a very long time until we get crowds back. And this is, just at the mainstream, highest grossing companies in the world, much less the indie level, which sucks because that's, that's my living right there. And, we're like when you trickle down to, crowds of, or you trickle down from, crowds of 10,000 down to crowds of like 200, and everybody's in super close quarters, and, just throwing it out there, wrestling fans aren't known as the most hygienic bunch.
We're dirty. You just call a spade. Listen, we all cannot live in Castle a la Cruz and live in that magnificent mansion with our own sound studio and production team, okay?
What you talking about, sound studio and production? What the heck are you talking about over here, man? Look, we out here just doing the best we can, but but the bottom line though, is, who there's no real end game to safely restart the wrestling business. I mean, AEW, they announced, I believe it was yesterday, might have been the day before, that they are moving ahead with Double or Nothing, which is going to take place Memorial Day weekend, and it was originally scheduled for the MGM Grand in Vegas. That, they said that was going to be their annual thing. Every Memorial Day weekend, it was going to be there in Vegas, full arena. Now they're saying that no matter what is going on in the world, that the event will still take place, whether it's in Jacksonville, whether it's in Atlanta, we don't know. But it's just, there's just this uncertainty, and wrestling without fans sucks. It does. I feel the same way about like baseball, where there's certain sports you just can't watch without a crowd, and wrestling's one of them.
I wholeheartedly agree. Baseball, football, basketball, any kind of sport, hockey. I mean, I can only imagine what basketball would sound like just sitting there listening to the squeaks of the shoes. It just sounds like a freaking regular game of pickup. And speaking of pickup, sidebar, did you watch the ESPN horse game?
No, I actually did not. They
okay.
No, I am behind. I thought that was just still in the stages of being talked about. I didn't know it actually happened.
According to, was it Oregon Live, according to an hour ago, Time TV channel and how to stream live. It's happening. Let's see here, if you're not into true live sports, but ESPN is set to wrap up on their NBA Horse Tournament Challenge tonight with current and former NBA players and WNBA players facing off from a variety of locations across the country, live with semifinals and finals tipping off on Thursday. Well, we already missed it, at 6 p.m. Pacific, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on ESPN.
Well, that is dope. I'm pretty sure it's online, or on demand somewhere, or I might have to check like the ESPN Plus app or something, and I'll have to check that out because I'm itching for new sports, just something, man.
I mean, I'm all about throwing up an old NFL game. I don't care who the hell it is at this point in time, except for the Cowboys.
Man, bump the Cowboys. I'll even settle for watching the Cowboys. At this point, anything but NASCAR.
I can see that.
And you know why. So I mean, but yeah, man. This, like the horse competition, pickup games, um, it's basically gonna come off like it's practice, but it's still something. I don't even know how long that would last. We're in this new climate, and there's a ton of uncertainty. I just it's hard to predict, so I kind of don't want to, because things are changing day by day, week by week. New estimates are being made. New report saying within the last 24 hours of from Gavin Newsom, the governor in California, that that there is a, like, they're not expecting to have any sort of live sport or mass gathering, mass assembly of people until January of 2021.
Jesus.
So there's a 3-month padding between that and WrestleMania, but again, like, I think that is just a best case scenario, and you're gonna go from having nothing to a massive gathering in LA. And by the way, I don't even know if the stadium is going to be completed yet, because all construction stopped. So there's going to be just a lot of questions. Don't hear it from me, or don't say you heard it from me, but I'm hearing scuttlebutt, not from any official sources, or like, just not by people you would think, but I'm hearing some words saying that because WWE is an essential business in the state of Florida, I'm hearing that they're just going to postpone the LA Mania, and they're going to try and do Tampa Bay again next year.
Oh, wow. That's some hopefully breaking news.
I mean, I don't know if that is indeed the case. My thing is, even if you want to reopen up the country, it seems like the last state you really want to have this mass gathering in is Florida, because for the most part, Floridians are nasty. And we're not heeding any of the warnings in general. So
why not just have it like in Oregon?
I believe they're still being heavily affected there too.
I mean, Bismarck, North Dakota. I mean, I'm throw it in, like, you got a whole damn map. You got 50 states. Throw one, or maybe, just maybe, we can finally get that guy who always says WrestleMania for Vancouver.
Yo, there is something just something really, just a small feeling that if Vince is determined to have like an actual WrestleMania next year, that it's going to be somewhere within these 50 states. It ain't going international. Just like it's just a little small part of me that there's some money being spent, and there's some influence, and there is some pressure maybe to say, hey, you might want to just keep this within the good old US of A for this year. I could be wrong. I could be wrong about the whole thing. But yeah, no Vancouver.
One day we will possibly even get a Mania. I mean, granted, they did do that one Survivor Series, SummerSlam over in the UK, but that was it.
92, absolutely.
Yep. I mean, it's destined to happen. I mean, I don't know if it's going to be in Vince's lifetime, but there's a possibly in the future.
Whatever kind of future there is, it should happen. It should. We just got to wait and see and live it out.
Absolutely. Well, ladies and gentlemen, I hope you enjoyed this kind of off the beaten path show that we were able to produce for you this week. Trying to lighten up the mood from other weeks, or at least from this week, I should say, because goddamn, this has been a damn dumpster fire.
It has.
Yeah, and we're just trying to make light. We did a double show yesterday, which is now currently up. And if you want to go back and hear our thoughts and opinions, just go back to YouTube and type in the Atomic Drop Show, and you can be taken there. Or it's already downloaded on Apple Podcasts or Spotify as well. Just type in the Atomic Drop Show.
We are there. We are live, and we are direct every single Thursday night. And you can follow us on all kinds of social media at the Atomic Drop Show, Facebook, YouTube, obviously, if you're watching this right now, Instagram. You can follow me personally on Twitter, and just all forms of social media as well. We're everywhere, and we're still growing, and thank you for taking the time to join us, and we hope that you will continue to support us in the near future as we navigate this weird landscape.
Absolutely. But until then, just know that we are your captain, and we will be more than happy to steer that rough water ship as best as we humanly can with jokes, laughter, and just complete nonsense.
All the Jerry Lawler jokes. Don't get it twisted.
And so many. Husk.
Oh, what are we doing here? What are we doing here?
All right. For Kyle Cruz, this is Just in Time, and we will see you in 7.